Hi, this is David Davis from TrainSignal and VMwareVideos.com, and I'm honored to be here with John Simmons from Varrow. How you doing, John?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. So we're here at the Charlotte Regional VMware User Group meeting, and they have somewhere between 500 and 800 attendees here. People from all over, the Carolinas have come, and it's an amazing event because not only do they have, expert speakers they brought in, but companies like Varrow are here and they're doing hands-on labs, and so they have speakers like Jason Nash is speaking about vCloud Director and Nexus 1000V, but then John has put together a great rack architecture that the attendees have come in and similar to the VMware Labs, they can sit down and they can do hands-on training right on real servers and equipment.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about your lab architecture. What do you have in there?
So the lab itself is kind of a interesting setup. It's sort of, I like to call it Inception style, because we have a base layer of the environment which sits on an EMC AX4 5i with a single tray of disk. For those nerds out there, it's 4 SAS drives, 15K spindles, about 146 gigs apiece, and then 7 SATA drives that are obviously very slow storage. On top of that, we have 5 ESXi servers that are hosting the entire lab. So that's the entirety of it. Has a gig switch in there that's doing iSCSI. And where it really starts to get interesting is how the lab itself is built. What we have is a set of 9 VMs that we've deployed a number of times.
Okay.
And each set of 9 VMs contains an Active Directory controller, 2 ESX hosts that are virtualized ESX hosts sitting on top of ESX hosts. So that's the first layer. Then we have 3 Isilon nodes, also virtual, that normally you just go buy an Isilon node. These are completely virtualized Isilon appliances. And then the vCloud Director server, which is just a Linux box, and a vCenter server. So each customer, each attendant, or student in this case, has total opportunity to be a complete administrator of their own environment without any chance of screwing somebody else's environment up, and just totally do whatever they want. And at the end of that, they leave and I roll back the environment.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're just using typical VMware snapshot technology there.
Okay.
Nothing special. So we roll it back to a powered off state, power it back up, and the next group comes in and off they go.
Very cool.
And everybody's getting into it using VMware View. So it's fully VMware, fully EMC, fully all that good stuff. So it's one heck of a intensive lab, a lot of really powerful stuff running on a very small amount of hardware.
Yeah. So the Isilon storage, is that the Solera BSA?
Negative. That's actually truly an Isilon box.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is something new that we were given access to by EMC as a partner, and it is literally it's similar to the Solera VSA in that how they produce those is sort of I'm sure you're familiar with the P2V process. So they point the P2V application, VMware Converter, and they P2V an Isilon node.
Wow.
And that's not to say it's that simple. It's not. It took about 3.5 weeks of hacking between EMC's most technical guys, the V specialists, and we at Varrow helped a little bit out with that as well, just in the troubleshooting and beta testing we've done for them.
Wow. So I can't just go home and P2V my iOmega iX4 to the virtual machine?
Not easily,
Okay.
but you might be able to do it if you figure out a way to hack through some of the secret areas.
Yeah. Very cool. So what kind of labs do the students do? What do they practice on there?
So we have 2 sections of the lab. We've, due to time constraints, we've broken it out into the Isilon portion of the lab and the vCloud Director portion. Because this is a vCloud Director lab, we're doing that first. And in that session, they get to provision a new organizational VDC. They need to provision some users, provision a virtual server, and they really get to see how the chargeback models work, how easily it is to spin up a vApp, which is just a collection of VMs, a collection of networking, and other, policy-based features, and then spin it back down. And that's really the benefit of cloud. And vCloud Director really gives you the tools to effectively manage your own cloud and give access to the people that you normally wouldn't. As a VMware administrator, normally you're having these people come to you and ask you, hey, John, or hey, David, will you provision this server for me? At this point, you can give them access to that themselves. It's really cool.
Okay. So are these virtual machines, are they templated? So you can...
They are.
You could replicate, not just 9 virtual labs, but 90 virtual labs if you had enough physical hardware to do it?
They absolutely are.
Okay.
And so essentially what we're doing is you create, and what they're called is vApps. And you just essentially right-click, hit deploy, give it a few network settings, and up it comes. And you've got your new environment, be it a web environment, web front-end, web back-end, whatever.
Wow. Wow. Well, this is all really cool. So tell me, how many students have you had going through these labs here at Charlotte?
So we have 10 stations per lab. So each table, so to speak, has 2 people sitting at it, and that connects to one lab.
Okay.
So there's 5 concurrent labs going, 10 people running at the same time, and normally we'll have 2 or 3 people sitting at each computer. So, we're looking at somewhere between 20 people per session for 5 sessions, so somewhere between 100 and 150 people that have gotten to take our lab today.
Wow, just today?
Just today.
One user group. So, have you done this at other user groups?
We have. We've every year we come out to VMware user group and we try to present something new and interesting, and do it in kind of an innovative way.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about Varrow. How big is it?
Varrow's a pretty small company, about 50 employees.
Okay.
We were started a number of years ago out of Greensboro. We're about 5 years old, and we specialize in virtualization, storage, disaster recovery, backup, and all the tertiary things that go along with those technologies. We have specialties in data center networking, really, really proficient in storage, really, really good in virtualization. We have one of the only VCDXs, which is the highest level certification from VMware, on staff in North Carolina. Actually, one of 2. Wow. The other's Scott Lowe. So
cool.
Yeah, that would be Jason Nash. But it's a real good company, real fast moving, and what personally I like about the company more than anything is just the honesty and integrity with which they do everything. And I'm a new employee here, so it's kind of a new thing for me, and they've really impressed me and impressed upon me. That's how they do things, and that's how they like to do things.
Well, I've seen very few, VARs, for lack of a better term, that specialize in virtualization, or they say that that's what they do. We specialize in virtualization.
Right.
And so to me, that's what, impressed me, or one of the things that impressed me about, Varrow.
Right. And that's why I think a lot of VARs have trouble saying that, because virtualization is a really hard thing to nail down. It's not really a single practice. It's a multitude of practices that come together and really encompass something much larger than just VMware, Citrix, virtualization. You have to know everything that works along with it.
Right.
And that's networking, storage, architecture, iSCSI, fiber channel networking, you name it. It all integrates, and it all comes together under this virtualization umbrella. And that's why it's not easy to do, and it's tough to say that you do it well, and Varrow does.
Okay. Well, very cool. Well, thanks for spending this time with me.
Absolutely.
I appreciate your telling us about your lab.
Yeah, thanks.
It's very cool, and have a great day.
Cool. Thank you.